Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 12 of my 1 versus 3 versus 3 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 2 separate teams of 3 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Halfling Dreadnought, Welby the Tinkerer. In our last episode, we encountered the rest of our opponents that we didn't know who or what they were. As you can see here, we've now encountered all 6 of our opponents, so the first team of 3 is composed of Camille, Moonflower, the Halfling Rogue. We've got Colm the Lucky, the Human Warlord. And then we've also got Awanes, the Custodian, who is a High Elf Theocrat. And then again, last episode, we encountered the remaining 3 opponents, which is the other team of 3. And that being Galendil of Vorlas, the High Elf Archdruid. We've got Quandria Rivara, the Shadow Elf Rogue. And then we've also got Zorn the Disciplined, who is an Orc Warlord. So that's going to round out all of our opponents. And again, a reminder that in this series, I have my opponents randomized, so I did not know what I was up against until I encountered them. And the reason that we encountered these other 3 opponents that were still mysterious up until last episode is because some of Galendil's units here have actually encroached on our throne city. So they snaked their way down between my 2 cities here, probably came down across this bridge, through this forest, and are peeking out here in my domain, as you can see. And they're now in the domain of my throne city. Although, thankfully, I have some pretty solid units defending my throne. But we now have our eyes wide open, and we know what we're up against. So we've got a lot of work to do, and we're getting into the mid-game, so things are going to get pretty spicy coming up, I think. But before we dive into the episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some fantastic comments on the last episode. The first of those comments comes from Ivan Engel. Ivan pointed out that I should never tie up support units that have full health. And this is in reference to, I believe, a battle that I did with Pimpton, my Theocrat here in his stack in this Lost Library. In this battle, what I ended up doing is moving a unit next to a support unit, putting that unit in defense mode to try to tie that unit up. But of course, the support unit had full health, and then I believe that unit just stepped off, took the attack of opportunity, wasn't killed, and then subsequently was able to do a 3-shot blast and hit me from point-blank range and do a lot of damage. So just a great reminder there from Ivan to, when you're tying up units, you want to make sure that you're tying them up when they have low enough health that a retaliatory attack would kill them, or otherwise incapacitate them that they can't then turn around and hurt you with a lot of damage. So great reminder there from Ivan. The next set of comments comes from Yonsich. Yonsich points out that he thinks it's time for me to start mass-producing units, and quite frankly, I could not agree more. I think I'm really starting to be set up well to do this. If we look at Hard Thistle, we can now produce cannons and flame tanks, and assuming we're able to clear out this Florrock Quarry and get 20 extra production, we're currently at 130, which means that if we get 150 total, we could do cannon production in a single turn. So we're going to be able to start just pumping out strong machine units there. And then as well, in Bittercrest, we're currently able to pump out cannons and flame tanks in a single turn, which is obviously fantastic. So I totally agree with Yonsich. I think I just need to start mass-producing units. Yonsich also wanted to point out some of the utility of a builder unit, in that I could use them to build watchtowers, to help with vision range, and I can also use them to build forts that I could put at choke points to help limit enemy movement or give me more awareness, and as well to throw them down around resource structures. And I think those are great reminders and suggestions. So for example, if I wanted to put a builder, bring a builder up here, I could throw down a watchtower right in between, and that would kind of give me extra vision range around my other cities and prevent this situation that has sort of occurred here, whereby these elven units have kind of snuck past my line of sight here and gotten through all the way to my throne city. So great suggestion there to use that builder in that way. Another option would be to throw down a fort right on the other side of this bridge, and that would kind of limit enemy movement as they come on through. So, and it would give me awareness and a place to kind of defend myself. So great suggestions there. And then, of course, I believe this was a suggestion a long time ago in one of the very first episodes of this series, but just to highlight an example of a resource area that could benefit from a fort, you can see right here we've got this gold mine, this trading post, and this crystal tree. So were we to park a fort right here, we would gain the resource benefit from all 3 structures, assuming we've cleared them out. So again, lots of good options there that we could take advantage of for using our builders effectively. And again, just highlighting the importance of vision range as well. Yonsich also points out that 2 of my opponents are Elven, that they're High Elves. So you can see here that our Theocrat is a High Elf, and then on the other team, the Archdruid is also a High Elf. Now, the danger there is that High Elf units have a tendency to do shock damage. And unfortunately, my machine units, if we just take a look here, you can see that they actually have shock weakness. So machines tend to be vulnerable to shock damage, which means that I'm going to have to be careful when going to battle against these Elven units, because they may be able to do a lot of shock damage and really put the hurt on my machine units. So great point there, something to keep in mind. And of course, I do thankfully have some units I can maybe use to counter that shock damage coming at me. So a great example would be Shadow Elves. As a number of Shadow Elven units, just as an example here, we have our Storm Priest. They actually have inherent shock protection. So 80% here in the case of our Storm Priest. So that might be a good way for me to kind of mitigate and cancel out some of the dangers posed by certain units from the different race and class combinations of my opponents, is to take advantage of the fact that I actually have a large number of different races within my empire. The next comment from Yonsich is that since I'm up against an Orc Warlord, I might be able to actually take advantage of the inherently low resistance of Orc units by using Dominate and Convert. So my conversion abilities will be extra effective against Orcs, which I've mentioned before. And Yonsich is just pointing out that in the case of Zorn, he might actually be particularly susceptible to this. So it might be nice if I can get Welby, who does have Dominate currently, if I can get Welby into the fight against Zorn eventually. Another comment from Yonsich is that I could actually, if necessary, I can turn an owned city into a vassal. Now you might be thinking, why would I want to do this? Well, there's a few reasons. So the first of which is that I may not have the resources to manage the city or to defend it appropriately. So by turning it back into a vassal, I can kind of end up with a situation like what I have here with Valok, which is currently my vassal, where I don't really have to do anything to manage it because we've got units that are already guarding the city that are just part of the city's kind of complement here. So were I to reconvert an owned city back to a vassal, I would get some units to defend it. Of course, I would lose production ability in the city, but that might be worth the trade-off. The other reason is that you also do get some extra good alignment, as well as an increase in happiness of the race in which you're releasing back to the vassal. So whichever race is that city, you're going to get some extra happiness. So it's not like I even really get penalized for it, and it'll take 2 turns. Now this is especially important since I've got the Rise of the Dire Penguins event about to happen, which means my cities are all going to come under attack from these roaming penguin units. And then in addition, I've also got now enemies at my gate, which may be threatening some of my border cities. And of course, if I'm not able to adequately defend them, turning them back into vassals might be a decent option if I get really kind of in a pinch. And then the final comment here from Yonsich is just a reminder that dungeons will, when cleared out, we'll just go find a dungeon here. When we clear out dungeons, there tends to be a reward from them of getting 2 tier 3 units. So Yonsich is just pointing out that in order to kind of increase the amount of units I'm able to have under my control, it might be a good idea to try and clear out some dungeons to really gain some extra powerful units kind of quickly and in a pinch. So great suggestions there from Yonsich. The next comments come from Albtrom. Now, Albtrom kind of pointed out something that Yonsich had mentioned, which is that in addition to the benefit of building forts, I could also then produce a settler. Since I haven't actually built any settlers yet, my first one is going to be cheaper. I think it's half price. So I could produce a settler and then move the settler to where I've set up my fort and then build a city. And the benefit there is that you get an existing wall from the fort, kind of gives your city a little bit of a head start. So great point there from Albtrom and kind of the utility of forts and settlers to create cities and the synergy there. And then Albtrom also pointed out that switching to a vassal does take 2 turns, so just to factor that in. And then finally, the next set of comments is from Casper Eklund. Now, Casper pointed out that the enemies that are near my throne city are not really too much of a threat currently, and that's because I've got this cannon and these other units defending my throne. So the cannon alone, especially since I've got the wall here, they should be able to make short work of these units as they move in to attack my city if they try to do that. So at the moment, I don't have to worry too much. So great point there from Casper. Casper also points something out, and this is, I think, a great point. Very, very astute here. Casper is mentioning that I had contemplated using Holly to clear out this lost library right here instead of just going directly underground with her. And I ultimately decided that I just wanted to get underground and start going after these undead that were threatening my city. But what Casper is saying is that since there's really no one else that I have in this area who's of any real sufficient strength to be able to clear this out, it would have probably been beneficial for me to actually divert Holly, clear out the lost library, try and get some good rewards out of it, and then go underground. And his rationale was that, A, I'm going to get good rewards from the lost library, potentially, and also, I don't have any other powerful units in the area that are going to be able to clear this out anytime soon. And then furthermore, any units produced by that spawning structure underground are going to come right out and probably attack Holly anyway, so I'm not really in any danger had I decided to do that, even if it delayed me clearing out the Haunted Boneyard for another turn or two. So again, very, very astute observation from Casper, and I totally agree with him. Missed opportunity on my part. And then just one final comment from Casper, just a reminder to always think about, even though this is a vassal city, I could still convert this mana node if I can spare the mana and the casting points into a fire node, because it does provide additional income even as a vassal. And eventually this may become my city as well. So ultimately, fantastic points from everybody. A big thank you to all of you for leaving all those excellent comments. And as always, extremely appreciated. So let's dive in here as we've now got all of our opponents discovered and we've got work to do. So let's keep at it. Okay, so last episode we did have our alignment change to good, which is kind of cool. We're working our way up the good ladder. Now, we did have some joint offers in a game we were kind of hemming and hawing. These ones we were going to not accept because we don't have any units in the vicinity, so Valok and our Dwarven City underground. Fulla Zaire, let's see, where is that? Now, they would like to join us. Now, the only problem here is we really do not have anybody in this vicinity. The only units that we have nearby, if we just jump back to the surface, are units that could come down through this shadow gate right here, and they might come from, for example, Asyut. I think what we might do is actually wait on turning this into our city, purely because we're going to have these penguins attacking us, and it would be better to have some units here to defend the city in the meantime. So I think we'll hold off on that. But again, eventually when it's beneficial for us, we can take advantage of that. All right, so now let's do some unit movement, and I think we'll start with Holly because she does have movement left to go. So I think we want to head over this way and go after this Haunted Boneyard. We've also got ourselves a city right here, and let's take a look at what it is. Another... Wow, that's like our third or fourth dragon dwelling that we've encountered. So let me know when you're ready to talk. You know what? Maybe we'll just grab that mana while we're here. Well, we do have another lost library, so I suppose we can go try and raid that eventually. But yeah, I think we're going to make a beeline for the Boneyard here. We can almost make it to the lost library. You know what? Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll actually go like this. Next turn, we'll jump to the lost library and then turn and go and clear out the undead. Fantastic. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, we did have this little goblin, Untouchable, who we had sent underground to do some mining for us to generate some extra income, which I think we're going to need. So, well, once he has movement, we'll keep doing that. Now we have to decide. We have some units here in the Shadow Realm. We were kind of in the process of kind of rejuggling our stacks and figuring out what we were doing. We do have this spy drone. Kind of need to figure out what's going on around this Archon dwelling. So let's just do some more scouting with him. Now, meanwhile, with Welby, we have to decide, do we want to try and head down here and see what we can find? Or do we want to turn around and go and see what else we can clear out? Obviously, we want to make good use of him if possible. I think what we'll do is we'll send this unit up to try and join with Leo's stack. So, reminder here, we split off Leo and Welby, and now Leo is leading his own stack, and I think we're going to send Leo up this way and grab this structure here to fight off some humans. So that'll give us some extra vision range, which will help us out. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any conversion abilities with any of the units in this particular group, so we're just going to have to kill them, basically, and get some experience. Fantastic. We just have to watch out for the halberdier here, because, of course, he could make short work of Leo. Even with martial arts that Leo has, that could still put the hurt on us quite a bit. So, I think what we'll do is we'll just... maybe we'll just park our Brew Brother back like this, and we will shoot the priest a little bit and try to get the priest to heal himself. Yeah, there we go. Basically, I just wanted them to use up their attack. Or their ability, I guess, to use up their movement. Alright, fantastic. And let's blast this Civic Guard with some cleaver damage. Oh, fantastic. Big damage there. And then with Leo, we can step up, but before we do that, let's do some extra damage here. Ooh, excellent. And then we should be able to just get the kill. Excellent. Okay, so that watchtower is now ours, which is going to extend our vision range quite dramatically in the Shadow Realm here. So now we have a pretty good idea of kind of what's going on in our immediate vicinity. I think maybe next we'll head over and try and clear out some of these Archon units here. Again, it would be great to add some units to this stack, as we've really just got 3 support units and Leo himself, so... there we go. You know what, we could actually do this battle this turn if we really were so inclined. I think we might as well, since we're here anyway. Now, important to note here, this Archon Saint does have Lesser Resurrect. So that means that if one of these units is killed off, this can be used to basically resurrect that unit. So I just have to keep that in mind going forward here. I think what we'll do is we'll use Leo as our... we'll throw a Phoenix Warrior on him just so that we have him ready to go. Charge in there and do some work without putting him in any real risk. And then we'll move our Brew Brother back like this. We want them to kind of come in towards us here. These are all just foot soldiers. Again, we probably didn't need to do that with Leo, but just to be safe, I think it's worth doing. Alright, now let's blast these foot soldiers here with some extra damage. Fortunately, they can tank quite a bit of damage. I think what we'll do is we'll actually charge in for the Saint. There we go. And then we will have our Brew Brother just hang out like this. Alright, so they're going to gang up on Leo, which is just fine by me. Again, he's got the... well, he actually applied Fearsome to these... or Panicked to these Archon foot soldiers because he has that jewel item. We look at Leo. He has the Amulet of the Cursed Widow, which gives him Fearsome. So... and again, he does have Resurgence if he goes down, so I'm not really concerned about him in this particular instance. Let's kill off that foot soldier, and then kill off the fleeing one as well. And then we'll just park Leo in defense and let him fight there. Okay, now you can see that the foot soldiers there came after us. I think what we might try to do... it would be great to just drop a heal on Leo, but he is a hero, and I think he'll heal up just fine anyway, so... let's see, what kind of... you know what, we could drop a heal for some extra experience, so let's do that. And then we can do some big damage and then just get the kill with our other Brew Brother. Excellent. Alright, perfect. So we did a little bit more clearing, got some more experience, and some extra gold, which is always good. And it looks like we've got some production resources up there, so that might be what we head for next. I think, unfortunately, these Watchers are going to just be too much for our kind of underpowered stack to handle at the moment. I just don't think we have the capabilities to deal with that, so... unfortunately, we can't move Leo back into the stack, so he'll just have to hang out like that. I guess we can go like that. There we go. Alright, so that takes care of Leo. Now, the question is, what do we do with Welby? I believe this watchtower is within the domain of the Archon dwelling here. So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of move like this. Oh, and look at this. We've got some roaming units that need to be killed. So let's take them out, and then we could even try for this tomb, potentially, if we were so inclined. Okay, so we got to try and level up our Blight Doctor and our Elder a little bit, as they are new additions to our stack and do not have much in the way of experience. Ouch. Be nice if we didn't get crippled there, but let's just back up and we can throw Dragon Ancestry on ourselves. Meanwhile, our Blight Doctor can step up and do some damage to the scoundrels. Now, we have to be careful of the Assassin, who can do some pretty nasty attack. So what might be a good idea would be, let's see if we can limit his movement a little bit. Oh, really low chance. Might not even be worth it. Alright, let's just try and kill off that scan. Oh, and we got a critical. Fantastic. Now this Brew Brother can just step up like this and kind of camp right out. Oh, you know what? This Blight Doctor's in a bad position here. That's not good. I think he would survive it as long as it's not a critical. You know, getting a Dominate here might not be so bad. We could try it on the Assassin. What kind of damage would he do to Welby? Oof, he could really hurt Welby if I'm not careful. Could go for an Immolate. You know, that's maybe not such a bad idea. Yeah, let's try that. Nice, and we got an Immolation on the Assassin. That's going to make it easier to try to convert them. Okay, fantastic. Now, I'm guessing he's going to go down for my Blight Doctor. Oh, no, okay, he turned around and went for my Pony Rider. That's just fine. Alright, so now let's try for the Dominate here. We're probably going to have... Ooh, 75% chance. Nice. That's excellent. Okay. So just like that, we got ourselves a Draconian Assassin. Very nice. Okay, so now we can, we can send that unit off to join Welby. It'd give him a non-support sort of melee unit that we could have, so that would be good. Yeah, I'm really glad I sent Welby down here, actually. That worked out pretty well for us. Now, we do have this box of Cataclysms, which would give another event kind of like this. So I don't know if I actually want to try that. I mean, again, we could try and dominate a Node Serpent or something like that, or one of these Elementals, which would be extremely good for us. But, this is a pretty tough battle. We've got Tier 3, across the board. All 5 are Tier 3 units. I think that might be a little bit too much for us. So I think instead maybe we'll just head down this way. See what kind of shenanigans we can get up to down here, perhaps. See if we can maybe find an additional structure or two to raid. What I'm hoping is that they're going to give us a quest here, hopefully soon. Well, I've got Welby in the area. So, yeah, let me know when you're ready to talk. I guess we'll look at that one more time. It's going to be 3 turns till they're willing to become our vassal, which is good. And this assassin we can figure out what to do with. Again, probably going to send him off to maybe join Leo. Now, while we're in the Shadow Realm, we still have this stack, which was heading over to deal with a particular quest. And that was a quest that was given to us by the Outpost of Decry here. And that was to kill a few Draconians. So, we're going to try that one on for size. We're sending this little kind of miscellaneous group over. So, hopefully they can handle that. Now, I think we're going to just send the Spy Drone over to help guard this city, since we've got that event coming up with the Penguins, which is going to be quite annoying. So we don't want any of our cities getting conquered if we can avoid it. It's quite the pain to have to reclaim them. I believe that happened in my previous series with my Orc Warlord, if I'm not mistaken. This same event happened, and of course I had to deal with it. And I believe I did lose 1 or 2 of my cities. Okay, now in Beb Jun here, we did produce another Golem, and I was kind of building up a group to go and try out this Ancient Ruin, and I was working on getting machine units to do so because the machines will not be susceptible to the curse that's going to be applied here by the Ancient Ruin. So, if we were to send some units, let's send the Golem and the Musketeer. We're also going to send this golem and this musketeer, I think. So now we've got 4 solid tier 2 units there, ready to go. Now we have to decide what do we want to add in with them. We do have ourselves a Tigran Prowler with some health damage, of course. Might be nice to have an engineer in there just so that we can reload the musketeers a little bit if necessary. We could also send a spy drone and use it as a kamikaze if needed. Alternatively, we could just send another unit to do some extra damage. I think maybe we'll do the spy drone. And then I think we're going to give this one a shot. This is going to be a very, very tough battle, but let's see how we do. Let's see if we can manage it. I suspect we're going to have some difficulty, but we're going to try this one on for size and see what we're able to manage here. So now we have to watch out for the conversion attempt from the Bard. Of course, our engineers are going to most likely come under attack as the AI loves to try to kill off the engineer. Goblin engineers in particular have really low hit points, as you can see there. So we'll have to be very, very careful with them. So I would like to get my golems kind of moved up a little bit there. Move our musketeers in as well to kind of back them up. Meanwhile, the spy drone can kind of come on up as well. I guess I didn't think the curse. Ooh, that. Dang it! So that was a bit of an oopsie there. I didn't really get to utilize the explosiveness of my. I didn't get to really use my spy drone to full effect or really any effect, which is kind of a shame. Now, I didn't think machine units could be cursed. It says they're cursed. Interesting. Okay, well, I did not realize that they would actually get cursed. I thought they were kind of like undead. Well, that's good to know. Okay. Again, I don't have a ton of experience with machine units, as I really haven't played much Dreadnought, so definitely learning quick. There we go. Okay, so we had to kill off that unit as it had Demolisher, which was dangerous for us. Okay, now we've also got this Monster Hunter who's going to need to die. Let's kind of move over like this. There we go. And then we should be able to get the kill, hopefully with relative ease here. Let's do a rapid reload on the Musketeer there. And then let's move in and beat the heck out of them. Fantastic. Okay. Now we've still got 3 more to deal with. Ouch. Unfortunately, our Musketeers are dazzled and now charmed, so that means we need to kill off this Bard ASAP here, so let's try it. Oh, not quite the kill. That's annoying. Can we... Oh, yes, we can. All right, let's do that. Excellent. Okay. Now this Musketeer is back on our side. It's going to be good for us. Now the Musketeer can move around here and do a nice flank shot. Excellent. That's going to allow... Oh, I thought that would allow them to step off. I didn't turn them far enough. Geez, that was a bit of a mistake on my part. Yeah, that was an oopsie. I should have moved 1 more. Turned them enough that I could have not taken an attack of opportunity to move my Musketeers off, because now this Musketeer is almost certainly going to die. I might just sacrifice them. Yeah, there. And then step up and get the kill that way. Yeah, it's kind of a shame. Ouch. Alright, let's reload this Musketeer. Now our golems can basically just venture over. I think we might just run this Musketeer back just so that it potentially won't be killed off by the fireworks shot there. Yeah, going after my engineer, not necessarily a surprise. Okay, now we can just gang up on this lone Monster Hunter here. So let's just blast him. Big damage here if we can. Okay, excellent. Unfortunately, we did lose 2 of our units in that battle, but importantly here is we cleared that out, and now we're getting the benefit of it. We did get an item with urban concealment. Really not that useful for me, but we have some gold and some knowledge, which I will take. And then I'll send this off to whichever hero is closest and probably just sell it. Sell it to Leo, or give it to Leo, I mean. Alright, so then we can start moving these units back to the city here. And what we might even do is send the builder over, and then he can start repairing the machine units. Okay, we'll group these up on the city just to have it nicely organized and defended. Alright, well, that's a big step. Getting this Ancient Ruin cleared out means now we could produce the Pillar of the Stylites and get some pretty solid Goblin units if we eventually wanted, like, Butchers. Also, just nice to have the extra knowledge income. Let's see, what else do we want to do here? I think we've moved most of our hero stacks. I think maybe we still have Pimpton to move. Yeah, so I'm still not exactly sure what I want to do with Pimpton. Do we want to send him up north to go and do some work up there? Or should we send him somewhere else? Honestly, I'm kind of thinking north is probably the best bet. We go take on all these fire units here. Not the strongest stack, but again, we're getting there. And we do have the ability to convert, so we could go and clear out these undead. Work our way up. And there's lots of stuff up here, so yeah, let's go that way. We'll send Pimpton up the road here, basically, I think. Okay, excellent. So that takes care of that. So now let's start thinking about production. And we've got a decent amount of gold here, so let's start working on Ripura being able to produce some powerful units here, because we need some muscle, that's for sure. Now, we can do Pillar of the Stylites, not really as useful for the Shadow Elves in particular. Siege Workshop would improve our production capability, although we're still not going to be at 100, so may not be as useful. We could do a barracks and just start working up that way. Alternatively, we could do the Dreadnought focus, but I actually think I'm going to do the barracks. And the reason is because I actually want Shadow Elf units. I think I'm going to try to have Ripura be producing Shadow Elf units rather than focusing on Dreadnought units. So the only caveat there is that I believe if I do a Dreadnought's Foundry and then eventually the second structure, I would end up getting, instead of flame tanks, I think the Shadow Elf flame tank equivalent is a shock tank, which would be kind of cool to have. Oh, now I got to think about it. That's actually, that would be kind of cool to get to see those in action. Now I'm sort of hemming and hawing over it. You know what? We'll procrastinate doing Ripura. We'll do some of our other cities in the meantime. So we're working on a Draconian Flamer for some extra defense at Yargan. We go back to the surface here. Let's do Bebjun. So we did lose a Musketeer in that battle, so let's replace the Musketeer. What else do we have? In our Throne City. Now, here's the big question. In our Throne City, do we want to produce more units, or do we also want to maybe think about making some more items for my heroes? I think maybe what we'll do right now is we'll make one more unit, and then we will do an item. So let's make one more unit here, and I think we'll just do another cannon, just for that big oomph there. And rest of our cities here. Fahas, we're working on Shredder. Asyut, we're working on a Musketeer. So production in all of our other cities is pretty much sorted out. So now it's just Ripura. You know what? I think we're going to go for Shadow Elf units rather than the Dreadnought units, because we're doing Dreadnought units in most of our other cities. Now, okay. War Master Habby, do we want to try out this Orc battle? I mean, our party robots are in pretty rough shape, honestly. Might not be wise. Could wait a turn and let them heal up a little bit more and then try it. What kind of odds does the tabulation give me here? Let's see. It is saying very likely victory. Really, the only thing that's scaring me are these two shock troopers. They do have Overwhelm and Guard Breaker, which is pretty scary. Good news here is they have such low resistance that our flame tank is going to be able to do a ton of damage to them with flame throwing here. That's going to do a lot of damage. Ay. This is kind of a tough call. I think, you know what? I think we're going to roll the dice here. We're going to give it a shot. I just really don't want to wait. So I think what we're going to do, and again, we may have to sacrifice one of our party robots here. So let's go. Now, is this a once per battle? Actually, I think you can just use this ability over and over again, which is really quite nice. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to bring War Master Happy over here like this. Again, we want to keep our flame tank out of direct combat as much as kind of possible. So we're gonna keep our flame. Now, we also have to remember the flame tank, if it's killed, it will explode, which is obviously kind of dangerous. Alright, now let's see what happens here. Now, the Black Knight's probably going to charge in at us. There it is. Okay, thankfully, our units are kind of tanking that a bit. Okay, now, what kind of cone can we do with our... Ooh, look at this. That's pretty good. Boy, this battle's kind of scary, though, to be honest. Party robots could do pretty good work on the Black Knight. War Master Happy can continue to repair, which is pretty useful. So maybe we park him back there like this. Now, our flame tank, we're going to have to do some work here, so... You know what, if we do this, we would hit both shock troopers, which would be pretty incredible. Alright, let's do it. Only problem here is we broke our little bit of cover that we sort of had. Now, we could step up with our Musketeer and do some heavy damage on the shock trooper. Alternatively, we could do some heavy damage on the Black Knight and more or less ensure that we're going to get the kill. So let's see, we can drop another repair, which would probably be pretty useful. Because again, if we just go in and do melee, we're probably not going to get the finish. Can our engineers do some work here? Yeah, they can actually do a lot of damage. Of course, if we step our engineers up, they're almost certainly going to be killed. Not that that's necessarily that big of an issue. Okay, yeah, let's do this. And then we can get the finish. Excellent. And then let's drop a repair. Biggest thing I'm scared of is War Master Happy getting rushed by that shock trooper. Let's repair the party robot. Now, our Musketeer, on the other hand, we can do some pretty major damage to the shock trooper. And then we can step our party robot up. And we can put some work in on him. The only major concern here is that, of course, the shock troopers do have guard break, which would not be fun for me. And I'm not going to be able to get the kill. So, in a way, putting me in guard mode really doesn't... It almost doesn't help me much. Like doing this and then putting myself into guard mode. So maybe we'll just attack. Yeah, there we go. Now, we could cast a spell to kind of help us out in this battle if we really wanted. If we could finish off the shock trooper. I don't really think that's going to necessarily make a tremendous difference for us. But you know what? Maybe we do it just so that we're out of the woods. I should have probably cast that before I attacked with the robot. Okay, so that actually isn't so bad now. Okay, so now our flame tank can do this. Blast the shock trooper and the great sword with big damage. Very, very nice. And then, you know what? We can use our musketeer here. Kill the shock trooper. Now we've just got these great swords here that need to die. So you know what? Let's drop a repair on the party robot and let them have at it. There we go. And then you know what? We can actually get the kill now. Our engineer. So I expect they're going to come down and try to kill off the engineer or just try to flank the musketeer. We might lose the engineer here, though. Oof. Almost lost the musketeer, but not quite. Thank goodness. We can move in and get the ram kill, which would be good. So now let's use a heal here. Before we do that, though, let's repair the machine again. Boy, that repair machine ability is fantastic. Alright, let's heal up the musketeer. And let's even do a reload for some experience. Alright, so now we'll step our flame tank up here. And do, we'll get the kill with the ram. Excellent. So again, we did have to give up, and maybe not my smoothest maneuver to give up this party robot prototype. But we got the battle done, and we only lost one unit. And here we go, some decent items to kind of just get us going with our hero, so we can equip this. This will give inflict enabling fever and exhausting fatigue, and then some boots for some extra defense. Sure, why not? All right, that's really good. I'm glad that that's done, sorted out. And now we get that benefit, that production benefit. So now we have 156 production income, which is great because that means that we can now produce flame tanks and cannons in a single turn, which is excellent. We may also want to consider building this Flow Rock Citadel, because you see here, produced machine units have plus 10 health. This city's walls restore 20 health at the start of each combat round. So that might actually be the next thing that, you know what, I might even just start producing that. So it automatically starts after the cannon is built. That way, any subsequent machines produced there will be a little bit stronger. A little bit more health. So, all in all, pretty solid round here with War Master Habby. Okay, I think that more or less does it for our turn. Now, we have some spell casting to do. We obviously want to get Suppressed Nature going again, so I think that's probably what we're going to do. And then we will end our turn there. Now, the big question is going to be, is anyone else going to attack us, first of all? And second of all, what is Galendale going to do here? So there's Colm now. It's on his turn. We'll see. Oh. Now, what is that? That's not good. A domain invasion at Beb Jun. I'm not seeing it. Oh, they might have come in through here, through this shadow gate. Let's see now. Back to the shadow. Yeah, there it is. Oh my goodness. So we are now besieged by the remaining units of Colm there that are now threatening our city. So we need to get in there. Looks like he ran out of movement and couldn't quite get to me. Whew, that's kind of scary. I don't think we have any units in the vicinity that we could really move in to assist. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Well, geez, this is going to be tough with a hero and a very powerful human-mounted archer. Yeah, I think we're going to be in pretty tough in this case. One thing I suppose we could do is maybe summon a spy drone to assist. Yeah, I guess I got a little too comfortable there. I really didn't think he was going to jump into the Shadow Realm after me like that. Yuck. One thing I suppose I could do is cancel Suppressed Nature and generate maybe 1 or 2 spy drones to help aid the defense of the city here. Okay, now did Galendale run away? Yeah, Galendale backed off, which not a surprise. Okay, lots of things have happened. We've met the town of Mol Biloth. Where's that? Let me know when you're ready to talk. Okay, so that's up here. I think that's partially due to us having this watchtower now. Race governance has leveled up with Draconians. So we can now improved Draconian Flamers with 1 extra defense and 5 extra health. Or we can make it that shrines in Draconian cities are cheaper to build. Maybe we'll just do the shrine upgrade. I think that's a little bit maybe more useful. Valak here is offering us a tribute, and I will take the small army. Oh, not bad. I mean, mostly tier 1 units, but hey, I mean, just some extra bodies here is great for me. So I can figure out what I want to do with them. That's great. You know, we can even send these ones maybe into the Shadow Realm to kind of assist what's going on in there. So yeah, Domain Invasion at Beb June. That was just the unit coming into this Shadow Gate. And then obviously now is threatening our city with imminent attack. So these 2 cities still want to join us. We're going to disregard that. Arendelle as well, we're disregarding. Okay, so let's take a look at this hero. King Joseph the Ever-Living. He's an undying, undead hero, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and he's a warlord, so he's got defense command, range command. He does have spirit and fire weakness as being undead. So, yeah, we're going to have to deal with this. And of course, we've got ourselves a human-mounted archer who's going to be tough for us to handle. The only thing that might give us a bit of help here is that we've got these Shadow Elf Storm Priests who can summon lightning sprites that might give us a little bit of help in the battle. But I think we're going to need maybe some spy drones or something to assist us there. So let's hold off on casting any spells until we kind of know what's going on. Now, what about this unit? Can it get anywhere near? No, not even close. So I think we'll just keep heading up to join in with Leo then. Reinforcements are not going to make it there in time, unfortunately. I don't think these units could turn around and make it there either. No, not even close. Okay, now here's the unit, I think, for this quest. Yeah, so that's that. So maybe we could do that, actually, right now. That's not so bad. Let's take this battle on. Now, the only negative about sending Shadow Elves to do this quest is that, of course, Shadow Elves have fire weakness. Draconian units are able to do, as you see there, fire damage, so we do have to watch out for that. I think what we'll do is we'll summon a lightning sprite, and then we will kind of fall back here and let them sort of come to us. So we may have to throw up our Exterminator kind of like this, just as a protection for our Storm Priest. Okay, nice. Our Lightning Sprites tank that damage actually extremely well. Okay, now we've got this Raptor. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll step up like this. We can actually throw Frost weapons on this Shadow Elf Touched, which I think is going to be great. That'll do a lot of damage since they've got Frost weakness. So there we go. Turn them around. And then we can basically just outright get the kill right here. Excellent. Now our Lightning Sprite can turn this unit around, and then we should be able to just get the finish with our Exterminator. Excellent. And of course the Exterminators do have lifesteal, which is a nice little feature of them. Alright, so we finished off this quest, quelled the rebellion. We got ourselves a Raptor and a peace treaty. So I will take that reward very happily. And now they will hopefully become a vassal for us fairly soon. So fantastic. There, we can group our units back up. And now the question is, what do we want to do with this stack? And I'm kind of thinking of maybe sending them back to aid our beleaguered city. But we'll have to decide. Let's jump out of the Shadow Realm for a bit and think about something else. I kind of want to procrastinate making a decision regarding what's going on in the Shadow Realm just because of the unpleasantness currently happening. I suppose we could grab this Shrine to the Scarlet Destroyer if we wanted on our way by here. That would kind of limit our movement a bit, so maybe we'll just ignore that. We'll just head up like this. We'll clear out these undead and then head up and see what we can get up to up here. You know what? Let's go underground and deal with, since we're kind of on the Theocrat train here for a bit. Let's do the Lost Library. Okay, we've got 2 evangelists who are going to have to watch out for their nastiness, because of course they can convert our units. So we're also going to have to watch out for the reanimators, who are going to potentially be able to raise corpse if anybody dies. The issue with this battle, unfortunately, is I'm not going to be able to mind control anyone, because the undead are immune to convert, and the evangelists are also immune to mind control effects. So let's throw Bestow Iron Heart on my Draconian Flyer, and then we can step them up to kind of do a bit of work. Now, we also have to remember we have Divine Justicars, so if any of my units die, it's really not a big deal. The only thing we got to watch out for is the conversion stuff that could really kind of be nasty. Now, we're also going to throw Touch of Faith, which is going to improve resistance here of our ogres, which should make them more resistant to mind control. Our ogre, I think we will... trying to decide if I want to let them kind of hit me, or if I want to charge in there and actually start putting work in. Boy, we could almost kill the reanimator in one shot. Not quite, but almost. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, nice. And look at that. With our killing momentum, we can step over and still do some work on the evangelist there. Here we go. A little extra damage. Okay, let's see what happens here. So healing being applied. There's a conversion. And there's that raised corpse, of course, coming into play. Alright, so now let's kill off the evangelist who has converted our musketeers and wasted their... Unfortunately, wasted their shot, which was not so good. Alright, let's do some big damage here. Ooh, and a critical. Fantastic. So now our musketeers are back in action. They can reload their weapon. Our adventurer can step up, put the hurt on these evangelists, which then our flyer should be able to kill. And then with killing momentum, we can move over and still... Oh, and just outright kill the Draconian Reanimator. These flyers are just really, really deadly at this point. That's fantastic. Now, Holly, I suppose we could step up and maybe heal up the ogre a little bit. And we don't want Holly getting in any real risk, but... Yeah, there goes the cadavers. Again, it's a real shame that we can't grab these reanimators. Holy. Flyer's just out of control here. Not that I'm complaining, that's fantastic. Now, can Holly grab some more experience, perhaps? We can't curse the undead. You know what, we could steal the enchantment. We can steal the ogre's enchantment for some extra experience. And then, you know what, let's waste some movement. We'll turn the cadaver around and then get the kill with our ogre. Excellent. There we go. So, unfortunately, we couldn't really convert anybody, but a nice battle just for experience. And we also got ourselves a spell here. That could help if we're being sieged. Basically, surrounds the perimeter of target-friendly city with fire. Enemy units moving through it in tactical combat suffer 8 fire damage and have a chance to become immolated. And then, of course, we get some extra knowledge. Not a ton here. In this case, just 9, but... I'm not going to complain. Alright, so now we can deal with these pesky undead units who need to be cleansed. So let's get rid of these undead. Alright. So obviously, this flyer is just a... He's an absolute beast, so we're going to buff him up again with Bestow Iron Heart and send him kind of right up the gut. The Musketeer can kind of reinforce him as well. And then our Ogre will also get a nice buff here. I think what we'll do is we'll drop a heal on the Ogre to start with. And then we can also next turn throw a Touch of Faith on there as well. I'm going to just do this just to do some damage and kind of entice them to come at me here a little bit. I would like them to move up towards me. Oh, and they're not going to. Alright, well. Free reload there then. Great. And another chance to buff my units. They gonna attack me now? Yeah, there they go. Okay, so far so good. So now, let's kill off the Wraith here. Then we can step up and blast this Banshee for some big damage. Get the finish like that, no problem at all. And you know what, we can step up and kill off the Bone Wyvern and still have some moves left to tie up this Bone Collector. Meanwhile, our Musketeer can then finish off the Lost Soul. Just like that, just obliterated that Bone Collector. No problem at all. We'll move over and heal up our Flyer. And then I think we will reload our Musketeer. What we'll actually do with our Adventurers, we'll throw on Sprint, move around behind, and just get the finish like that. Very nice. I really do like having Theocrat heroes leading stacks that take on the undead. Just makes things easy. Alright, so we've got a Quiver of Frostbite, which provides +2 frost damage with range attacks, as well as frostbite projectiles, so that's not terrible. And a Fell Horse for some extra fire protection. Now, we do already have fire protection on this hero, but we could send this off to another... So we already have our Red Raptor, but... equip that there. So that actually helps our Spirit Ray out a little bit. But now, this Fell Horse, we can actually send this to one of our other heroes. So let's just jump around here. Okay, so for example, War Master Habby does not have... He has 60% fire protection. That's due to the Shrine to the Scarlet Destroyer, I guess. We jump back to Pimpton here. Like, Pimpton doesn't have a mount. He doesn't have any elemental resistance, really. Welby doesn't have a mount. He's got 40% fire protection. So we've got lots of opportunities here for heroes to... 60% here on Leo. You know, if we gave this to Leo, I think he would have 100% then, because I believe it's 40%. So you know what? Let's send that to Leo. The only issue is that Leo's 5 turns away, whereas these guys are closer. That being said, having 100% protection is pretty nice. So we'll send it off. Now, what can our scout do for us here? So let's see what we can see. Okay, so just some more kind of structures here to clear out. And it'd be nice to get a quest from these dragons to give us an opportunity to do something for them. I think we will move our stack up like this and go for the battle here. And we got some Draconians we could try to grab. Okay, so there's some dragon ancestry being applied as per the usual. Step up here on the Flamer and just kill them in one shot, no problem. Drop a heal there, and then we can move our units in just a bit. Now, I think we're going to try and throw a curse here if possible with Holly. Taking a bit of damage, nothing we can't handle, but let's see if we can throw a curse here. Got a 50% chance. Ooh, resisted. So let's step up and just start doing some killing. Very nice. Excellent. And then we can reload our Musketeer as well. Holly's already moved. Fortunately, I don't think we're going to be in range for a conversion attempt. I suppose what we could do is move up like this and then bestow Iron Heart on the Ogre. Maybe we'll go like that and just let them kind of hit us with some damage, but give us a chance to then try and convert them. I think the only real danger is if Holly takes some hits, but yeah, they're going after the Ogre, so that's just fine. So now Holly can step up and try for the conversion. 50% chance, and it unfortunately did not work out. But we got the kill. we go. And now I think this is a shrine that gives you... Yeah, so it gives you 60% fire protection for 8 turns, fire spit, and explosive death for the next battle. So some upgrades there from that shrine temporarily. All right. Oh, and this little guy can again do some digging for us to get some extra income. So now let's just start digging. So that's great. Just a little bit of extra income from him. Not bad at all. Now, Leo, on the other hand, we probably want him... Should get his stack in with him. I think we should clear out these production resources here. So, let's do that with Leo. Alright, now we do have to be careful because, of course, we've got units that can do quite a bit of fire damage here, so we'll just have to watch out for that. Thankfully, Leo does have resistance to that. So I think maybe what we'll do is we will kind of backpedal our units a little bit and do that same sort of approach where we use Leo to just throw on Phoenix Warrior, let him kind of tank the damage a bit. We do need just sort of like a melee unit of some kind in this stack besides our hero, because he can only do so much. Let's step up here and blast this raptor. There we go. Fantastic. So now Leo should be able to move in like this and just annihilate that temple guard. And the Brew Brother can step over like this and do a self-heal. Okay, now our Brew Brother down here can heal up our Mystic. Our Mystic can step up and hurt the Flamer quite a bit, actually. Thanks to that critical, and then we can get the kill like this. And then move in and get the nice big flanking charge hit with a critical with Leo. So again, that Phoenix Warrior is just a fantastic kind of, it's like an insurance policy, right? You don't necessarily need it, but, you know, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it and end up losing units in that stack, which can't really afford it right now. Now, ordinarily, I would take the Siege Workshop, but since we are under attack, I'm actually going to take the Wooden Wall. Huh. That was actually extremely fortunate, as now we've got just a little bit of extra protection from what's coming at us. So that wall will actually assist us tremendously. Very, very fortunate. Again, normally I would have taken the Siege Workshop, but given the circumstance, that wall, I think, was the better choice. Okay. So now, with Leo, do we want to maybe just keep on heading up this way? I think that's probably the plan for now. We've got more structures to clear out, so might as well just keep on moving. Looks like we've got potentially another city here as well if we zoom in. I think that's the border of a city. Now, as for Welby down here, we have to decide, do we try for this tomb perhaps, or do we ignore it and keep moving? I don't know if we're quite strong enough to handle a tomb at the moment. I mean, again, we do have this Pony Rider who's in great shape and very, very strong, but might not be the best decision. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll send off this unit back up this way to go and join with Leo eventually, if possible. We do also have this spy drone who's continuing to scout for us. Oh, and look at this. We've got ourselves apparently another city. Looks like another Shadow Elf. Yeah, there it is. So, let me know when you're ready to talk. I don't really want to spend all that gold on... Oh, and here we go. We can go and get rid of this structure. That'll be good. So that's something we can... You know what? Let's just ignore the tomb for now. Just don't think it's worth trying at the moment. We can head over this way and start clearing out some of these structures, however. Alright, now, as for this situation, I think we will take Suppress Nature, abort it. And what we're going to do is we're going to summon a spy drone just to aid the city a little bit. You know what, we could even summon, we might even summon just a second one just to really make things safer for us. Dragon Oil is too expensive to cast this turn, otherwise we could throw that as well. Yeah, I think, you know what, we'll just do that. And that way we've got just a little bit of an insurance policy if need be, just to kind of protect our city a little bit more. Now, as for these units, again, I think maybe we'll start heading back over here, and then we can form up an army and maybe start doing some clearing with them as well. All right, let's go back to the surface. Now, we've got this little stack that we got from Valak here. Let's think about what do we want to do with them. Again, we've got options. It's probably not strong enough to do much on their own. However, if we were to bring them back over here, we could start forming up a legitimate army to actually start maybe doing something with. I think maybe we should start heading up here and try and take on this watchtower. See if we can maybe get control of it. So, this stack's already pretty decent here. It'd be nice if they had a healer. But, let's see here. So we've got... We could use a ranged attack of some kind. Let's maybe send the Blight Doctor along for that ride. And then, yeah, this stack, we'll send them up north to go and try and clear out this watchtower. Meanwhile, we can perhaps bring this army down to kind of reinforce what we've got going on at Bebjun here. And of course, eventually we'd also like to go get rid of this spawning structure, which has been giving us some problems as well. Oh, and look at this. He's moved up right on our throne city. I thought he ran off, but he's actually decided to come right after us. Isn't that interesting? Now, the big danger here is that he might be able to cast some spells on us, which could end up not going so well. And of course, I wasted all my casting points on summoning those 2 spy drones. I maybe should have summoned one to be in the throne city as well. Although, again, I should be okay. The big danger here, though, is that this is a druid. And I think the druid has an ability, I think it's called like Rust Strike or something like that, which could potentially be used to really incapacitate my cannon and make things tough for me. So, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Yikes. Yeah, I probably should have summoned a spy drone here. Or even started moving this stack down to assist my throne or something. I mean, again, I think we'll be okay, but that is a little bit concerning. Okay. Just looking around at kind of what else we have going on. I think that's most of our movement, so let's do our production. Okay, so in this Draconian city, we've got units coming in to reinforce the city from over here. So I'm not going to worry about producing any more units at the moment in this city. Instead, it would probably be better to start thinking about production. So maybe we'll do a builder's hall because we want to maybe start producing some other units out of here eventually. We now have at least another unit guarding Asyut. Maybe we do an engineer just to have one more guarding the city. Now in Fahas, we have 3 pretty decent here. We got 2 melee units and an archer unit, so I think we're all right there. So maybe let's hold off on deciding on that one. Hard Thistle, we're working on the Florok Citadel, and then we're going to pump out machine units. And again, in our throne city, fortunately, because we have enemy in domain, that's, I think, decreasing our production output, which is why this cannon ended up taking an extra turn, which is too bad. Well, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be all right without any reinforcements at our throne. I'm hoping that we'll be able to make it through that without too much issue. Now, I would like to go up and try and clear out this lost library. The only issue is that we're going to start having these stupid penguins threatening us soon. So maybe we just hang out near the city for maybe another turn. Wait and see what's coming. Again, Hard Thistle, Yeah, I think we'll leave this stack kind of right here for just one turn. And then we can move on. So now Bev Jun here. Again, it would be awesome to start working on this blast furnace, and I think that's what we're going to do, because then we can do flame tank and cannon, which are going to be huge for us. So let's do that. Again, we're just prioritizing unit production at this point and trying to get ourselves in a position where we're able to make strong and powerful units. Now, in Fahas, we've got 68 production income. Unfortunately, you know, it'd be great to get the Siege Workshop, get that plus 10, and get us above that 75 hump. But might actually be more beneficial at the moment to just do some extra units. So maybe we'll do a Sun Guard. Get another unit there. So, yeah, Welby we've already moved. All right, that's going to do it for our turn. So, you know what? Let's start... Maybe we'll just start working on... Again, I do want to get Suppressed Nature going again. That would dramatically improve our happiness and all that for our units and our cities. Spy Drone, though, we may just need some extra units just to assist us. Dragon Oil, of course, could also be useful. I'll do Suppressed Nature, but we may have to divert that again if necessary. All right, let's end the turn there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't notice this. I even hovered over my throne previously and said, "Oh, look, they've ran off. I'm fine." So, the big question is going to be, when it comes to Galendil's turn, is he going to attack us? Boy, this could be dangerous. And, you know, of course, he could throw down, like, what is it, root spears or something and try to kill off my engineer so that he can't reload the cannon as quickly. There's lots of things he could do with spells to really kind of screw me over. I mean, again, if he doesn't attack me this turn, I'll have another cannon, and then I'm fine. But I suspect that since he's moved in like that, he is going to want to attack me. Now, thankfully, Colm, it seems like, didn't decide to attack me either. Did he run off? Yeah, he did. I maybe should have paid more attention when it was Colm's turn to where he went, because he could still be hiding in the Shadow Realm. Okay, and it is telling us probable defeat, so here it is. Let's see it. And of course, I suspect they're going to go right for my my best units here, probably with spells and whatnot. Now, thankfully, we do have this Spy Drone, which is going to be able to assist us. Now, are there any spells we could use to really make things good? So I think we'll just use spells, because I don't want any risk in this battle. So let's just start hitting with Fireball, maybe. You know what? Let's go after the Longbowman, I think. We're just going to start doing damage. I just don't want any risk at all coming to my... I don't want to lose my Throne City, basically. Okay, so he threw down a Bless on his units, apparently. What does that do? Strong Will, Devastating Charge, Killing Momentum, Arctic Walking, Bless. Oh, so he's blessed. Oh, this is an upgrade from a shrine that they must have gone through. Okay, so that unit's a lot stronger, so that's the one we're going to have to watch out for. Now, can our cannon... Ooh, yeah, look at that damage. Big damage. We could almost kill off the Longbowman straight up. Bladesman. Swordsman. Let's see now. What's the mobility here? Yeah, you know what? Let's maybe hit the one that can get after us a bit. Let's see. What are our spells able to do? Why can't we cast a spell this turn? Oh, we don't have enough mana. I didn't even notice that. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Holy cow, I ran out of mana. I can't even believe that. You know what? Let's hit the Bladesman, because the Bladesman will be up on the wall soon. There we go. And then, yeah, we can throw a little extra damage here. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I ran out of mana. Okay, there came that root spears, as I was expecting. You know what I should have actually done is use the engineer's last turn to do a rapid reload on the cannon. Instead, now we're going to have to do it this turn. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. I should have done that. Okay, reloaded the cannon. We can blast again. Now, we could kill the longbowman, probably, or the bladesman, probably. We'll definitely kill the bladesman. We would most likely kill the longbowman. Let's try for the longbowman. Fantastic, okay. And then our spy drone, we can just move over like this, just in case they try to climb the wall. Oh, that root spear's just about killed my engineer, as I kind of suspected they might try to do. We'll reload the cannon, and then we will blast again. And this time, thankfully, they're in a line. So we can hit both of them. And you know what? We can even, if we really wanted, we could move our spy drone up. Do some damage here. There we go. Oh, they root speared away my... You know, I could still lose this battle. This is not good for me at the moment. Okay, now can they get to my cannon? They cannot. So I need to get one of these units killed off. You know what? I shouldn't have moved this spy drone out the way I did. That was a mistake. Now, thankfully, the explosive death should kill the bladesman. But then we've still got this swordsman. Let's do this. Okay, okay. Now we've just got the swordsman left. Oh my gosh, this is tense. Okay, good, good, good. Oh, whew. That was a bit of a nail-biter, and I made a critical mistake in that battle that almost cost me my throne. But thankfully, the cannon came through for us, and we were able to defend our throne city. So, again, this episode is going a little over time, but I think it was worth it for that absolute nail-biter of a finish there. Oh my goodness. That was a lot closer than it should have been, I'll tell you that much. Again, you know, I kind of underestimate. I'm so used to, in a lot of my other playthroughs, I'm so used to having kind of just an exorbitant amount of mana income. Especially when playing as, like, for example, a sorcerer, or when I was playing a necromancer. Usually mana is never an issue, but in this one I've actually had to be really careful with my mana income. And that almost cost me, as I didn't have any more spells to cast in that battle. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and I made a mistake that I didn't reload the cannon. And instead, I used my little flashbang when I shouldn't have with the engineer. And then I made another mistake by moving my spy drone out and around, when instead I should have just parked in the castle and waited for them to come past the walls. And then I could have blown up and hit both of them with damage rather than just one. So I made mistakes, but thankfully it still worked out. So we'll just wait until the turn flips over. Oh, and here come the... Oh my gosh! And now, of course, my throne is going to be besieged by penguins. And we've had other cities now, too. Okay, let's take a look at all the stuff going on. So, Bittercrest is under siege from some penguins. Thankfully, we now have 2 cannons, so that should be fine. It'd be great if we had an engineer to assist to reload them, but... Asyut is now under attack, so there's probably penguins there. We have penguins on the outskirts here of Fahas. And we have penguins here, so we have just penguins galore. This is going to be really, really unpleasant for us. But I think we'll call it an episode there, and we'll deal with the fallout and aftermath here in the next episode. So let's save this one. Boy, that got me sweating a little bit, I'll tell you that much. So we're calling this one episode 12. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.